Two Afghan journalists were beaten in police custody after covering a protest by women in Kabul, where they were detained by the Taliban, their editor said. Taqi Daryabi, founder and editor-in-chief of Etilaat Roz newspaper, shared images on social media of two male reporters, one with large red welts across his lower back and legs, and the other with similar marks on his shoulders and arms. Daryabi told Reuters on Thursday, quote, "Yesterday, 5 colleagues were kept in a detention center for more than 4 hours. 2 of our colleagues were beaten and tortured brutally. The injured reporters were taken to hospital and advised by doctors to take 2 weeks rest." When asked about the incident, an acting Taliban minister said that any attack on journalists would be investigated.
Hello, the first international passenger plane to leave Kabul since the end of the US-led evacuation has just landed in the Qatari capital. The Qatar Airways charter flight is carrying dozens of foreign nationals. From Doha, passengers will continue on to their final destinations. Qatari technical teams have been working to make Kabul airport fully functional again. They say it is 90% operational and expect a gradual reopening.
Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko and Russian President Vladimir Putin have decided to deepen economic ties between their two nations. During their recent meeting, they agreed on forming common energy and financial markets. Now, the move comes as Belarus faces Western sanctions in response to political repression in the country. The two countries have also started joint military exercises that are being closely monitored by NATO. But many Belarusians don't want their country to be reliant on Russia and have criticized Moscow's growing dominance.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
An exasperated president lays out his new plan to vaccinate the almost 80 million Americans still holding out.
I will sign an executive order that will now require all executive branch federal employees to be vaccinated, all. And I've signed another executive order that will require federal contractors to do the same. If you want to work with the federal government and do business with us, get vaccinated.
Vaccines will be mandatory for healthcare workers in federally funded facilities. In addition, staff at companies with more than 100 employees must now be vaccinated or tested weekly and offered paid leave to get the jab. The new rules will impact 2/3 of all workers in the US.
Desperate parents carry their children to this hospital in Firozabad in Uttar Pradesh state. For the past 2 weeks, it has been inundated with children suffering from high temperatures and other symptoms of dengue fever. Most of those who have died from dengue fever in the past 2 weeks are children. Cases of the virus usually rise during the monsoon season in tropical climates, but health officials say the outbreak is particularly bad this year. Municipal workers are spraying chemicals to kill mosquitoes in the Neamat Naghdi neighborhood.
Thousands of miles from the U.S.-Mexico border to the south, another border crisis is unfolding. Throngs of mostly Haitian migrants in the Colombian beach town of Necoclí are causing a major bottleneck awaiting their turn to enter Panama and continue their journey to the U.S. Mayor Jorge Tobon Castro says new arrivals have pushed the town to the brink.
Today, we are experiencing another crisis due to the holding up of more than 14,000 migrants that we have in the municipality of Necoclí because more than 1,000 or 1,200 migrants arrive in Necoclí daily, and we can only dispatch 500 on the boats.
The majority of the migrants moving through Neamat are Haitian or Cuban. Others come from African nations like Ghana and Mali. The lifting of COVID-19 border closures sent the number of migrants soaring, with the foreign ministers of Colombia and Panama agreeing last month that 650 migrants could initially cross per day.
Britain and France have become embroiled in a war of words over migrants crossing the English Channel. The French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin said in a tweet that France will not tolerate breaking maritime laws or financial blackmail from the UK. This came after the British Home Office suggested that it would begin turning around small boats making the crossing back into French waters. Darmanin's British counterpart Priti Patel also threatened Britain could withhold part of the €62 million it promised France earlier this year to fund policing and patrols on its northern coast. A record 13,500 migrants have crossed the Channel in small boats this year.
20 years after the 9/11 terror attacks on America, which killed nearly 3,000 people, the man who's thought to have masterminded them, Khalid Sheikh Muhammed, and his 4 key associates are in court for pre-trial hearings. It's their 42nd appearance, and the judge is the 8th to have presided over the case, which has been bogged down for years.